All right, so Candace Bondurant, she informed me of some very interesting stuff. That would be Officer Michael Beard and how he treated her, how she was scared, and I saved that. Now, my electronics were repeatedly stolen by police. Anything that showed police corruption, police wrongdoing, or corruption of law enforcement in general, including public pretenders and judges, was not admissible in court, was not allowed in court. Nobody who was trying to tell on these people was allowed to speak up. They were scared shitless. Candace Bondurant, Mandy Hughes, Alyssa Rainwater. These people didn't come forward because they were afraid for their children. And I'm going to tell you something. Their children don't matter as much as the children that I'm trying to rescue. Candace Bondurant's children will never end up in the system. Lori Dale, that's Candace's mother, will do everything in her power to prevent that from happening. Mandy Hughes will do everything in her power to prevent that from happening. Her daughter, Alyssa Rainwater, has a child, and Mandy Hughes will do everything in her power to prevent that child from going into the system. I'm fighting for all of the children who are in the system, who will be taken illegally by CPS because they make great fucking money at it. If a parent cannot afford medical insurance for their child, they say that parent is neglecting that child. They give that child to a foster family, and that foster family is given the money for that medical insurance. Does that make any goddamn sense? We can give that free money to foster parents, but we can't give that money to the actual parents. We can give money to these foster parents for the heating and all of that stuff, but we can't give it to the actual parents. It's fucked. Miss Peaches, her worry was about her children. That's why she was afraid to come forward. And those things are in this very YouTube. At least 10 conversations with Miss Peaches, aka Kayla Trujillo, that back up my story. At least 5 of them with Mandy Hughes that back up my story. And I believe there's at least 2 or 3 with Alyssa Rainwater that back up my story. Now, their excuses after the fact are completely different from what they were telling me at the time, which is why it is important that I recorded those telephone calls. These people, by not coming forward, put literally millions of children in America at risk. Why? Because my case and Natalie's case could bring the whole fucking system down. All of it. If just one judge or one FBI agent was willing to take a look at the evidence that I have just on this YouTube, there would literally be hundreds of arrests in the state of Colorado and Nebraska and Wyoming. Oh, and Washington State and Virginia. Hundreds of arrests. Put that in fucking perspective. I got my telephone back, by the way. I finally found it. I had a severe panic attack all night long. I was up. But you know what? I went to Hanson's Texco. Larry Hanson told me that he had my phone, and here it is. My computers were repeatedly stolen. That's what being homeless is. It is nonstop theft. If it's not the police stealing your shit and trumping up charges and outright lying, then it's junkies doing the same thing, or college students, or motherfuckers who assume that everybody who's homeless is a junkie, or a child molester, or a rapist, or a woman beater. Meanwhile, Rand Ingersoll lives with someone in a house, and she smacked around Amy Kalina Kingery's children in front of me. Amy Kalina Kingery, who is a meth addict. Rand Ingersoll, who is an alcoholic. Yes, I recorded conversations between myself and Rand Ingersoll. Our messages between each other on Facebook. I took screenshots of that. This evidence, a lot of it has private information, and if I post it on my Facebook, I will get Facebook banned yet again. If I post it on here, I will get Facebook, or I will get YouTube banned yet again for showing the truth to the public, because the news will not do so because of the term mentally ill. The police wouldn't do anything about the harassment against me, any investigating whatsoever. Wouldn't talk to any of these people because of jurisdiction. Meanwhile, you can see in those videos that Mandy Hughes and Alyssa Rainwater, the police came to my door to talk to me about them. These very same police officers that I have been trying to turn in since before Natalie died for not doing their goddamn jobs, who have been heavily invested in doing everything in their power to prevent their wrongdoing from coming forward. That department came to my door. None of those officers should be allowed anywhere near me. And it's not the fact that those officers were involved or not, because the officers that were sent to my house were the ones who, well, one of them this time around was one of the officers involved, Officer Jared Hahn, who took part in this bullshit. And Scott DaCosta, who either took part in it or he needs to do something about Jared Hahn. The other two officers are new here, but they work for the same sheriff that I was trying to turn in 2007 or in 2018. In 2017, I was just trying to turn in his officers or his deputies. Hey, get out of there, that's not your food. Repeatedly, I had vehicles stolen. I had computers stolen. I had my telephone stolen. Repeatedly. I was forced into public and assaulted in public. And the police literally wouldn't do a fucking thing except lock me up. Kara Johnson Miles is a felon. She did commit multiple felonies by pretending to be an autism advocate and by slandering my name repeatedly in Facebook groups while pretending to be an autism advocate. Then again, Katie Cahill also committed felonies by pretending that she would represent me in court. She didn't. She didn't make any effort towards that. She made zero effort to write a fucking police report. None whatsoever. And that's why I'm so pissed off at her. Lori Dale, yeah, I'm not messaging her. I will say fuck you in public, Lori Dale. I don't have any problems with that, Lori Dale. Your children got lucky as fuck having you as a parent. However, that doesn't make what Candace did okay. Your son, Chancedale, was my best friend for a good long while there. Until he fucking died. How did he die? Drinking and fucking driving. That's how he fucking died. You can't stop me from speaking out if I am released over and over again. What they have done is repeatedly try to destroy my credibility so that it makes it justifiable that they never took a police report, never once collected evidence, lied and fucking slandered myself and Mandy Hughes and Aaron Cockerham and many others who tried to come forward and the police would not let them. Where did they make their mistake? Where the police and the Bollingers and these news stations are all working together. These people went in one at a time, and most of them never went in. They just claimed that they would until I was out of resources. Like Graham and Tabitha Michelle Cook. I am grateful for the things that these people did for me. However, it was not help. The reason it was not help is because it was a temporary band-aid and these people promised me stitches. These people said that they would go in with me to make the police take my fucking report, and they never did. Not even one of them did. And as a result, those police were allowed to slander me in court. My predators were allowed to slander me in court. You goddamn right I'm going to speak out, Candace Bondurant and Lori Dale and Alyssa Rainwater, who, by the way, was a 911 dispatch operator when Natalie Bollinger disappeared. You goddamn right I recorded what she had to say. Having the telephones where these people were telling me how fucking afraid that they were stolen from me after almost 2 years of trying to force the police to look at that shit, and they never once did. They repeatedly stole that evidence from me and refused to look at it under the auspices of my own personal safety for suicide watch. Every time they took me in on suicide watch, every single time, it was protecting the wrongdoing of officers. Every goddamn time.